My name is James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Tonight, I want to talk about my dad. According to my mom, he'd be turning 66. So clearly I fucked up. And today is his birthday. It's April the 30th, the last day of April. And this is my video blog tribute to my father. Now I'm not going to go all out and get pictures of his photos and go out like I tried to do on the anniversary of his death, because the pain was just unbearable. So this is not really going to be long, because just talking about my dad is painful enough as it is. So let's start with number 1. When I used to go to my dad's in the summertime, the only time that he didn't spend with me is when he had to work. Other than that, he was always there. He didn't interrupt our toy games or anything like that. He'd always check on us, we'd play and see how we were doing, that kind of thing. Ask me what I want to do for the day. Like Saturdays, he's off. He's like, so Jimmy, what do you want to do today? Well, Dad, I really don't want to go anywhere until the cartoons go off. And he's like, okay, well, after all the cartoons go off, we're going to head on over to Newport News. I was like, and why are we going there? You want to go swimming? Nope. Good. Let's go to a toy store. So we either go Toys R Us, Children's Palace. It just kind of depends on the day and his wallet. So in particular, after being kicked out of Toys R Us because I wasn't 15, we rarely ever went back, if at all. And I want to thank Miss Molly for that. So we're going over to Newport News and we're having a good old time, We drive over to Newport News and we do our little thing, and Miss Molly would tell us what to do. We go visit parks and we'd feed the squirrels like chips and peanuts and all kinds of shit. And it was basically a triumph of the three of us just doing things that, as Miss Molly used to say, the best teacher is nature. And sometimes nature and nurture are a whole lot better than what you can learn in school, because sometimes you just have to be out there in the thick of shit to learn it. So Miss Molly and my dad, they didn't do anything if not together, So in the summertime, that was like my mom, So it wasn't nothing. Of course, there was that Mr. Inspector Gadget incident, but we got over that. And then there was that bear in the bottle thing. Yeah, we got over that. But anyway, there's a lot of things that you young men need to know about being a father. Being a father, 1, it means being there for your kid, thick, thin, whatever. My dad taught me this. And no matter what, no matter how far the distance, you need to be a father. When you are a father, you are a father. That means you will move heaven and earth to be there for your child. Even if not financially, but right here, that little bastard needs to know that you're his daddy. He needs to know that you're going to be there. That his uncle doesn't have to do your job. My dad didn't have a car once. This is probably the only time I ever truly made my dad mad at me, because I really wanted to go to the beach. And in honor of his birthday and my late Uncle Bruce, who died a year before my dad, I'm going to tell this story. So I got on my little Huffy bike that I got for Christmas. I'm riding around in Smithfield. That's right, Smithfield, Virginia, my second home, baby. Rock the fuck on. So I'm riding around, I'm thinking, I want to go to the beach. Dad gets off at 3. He can meet me over at Uncle Bruce's house. Dad's car ain't acting right. Dad really don't want to go to the beach. I want to go to the beach. I really, really want to go to the beach. So this is what happened. Dad meets me over at Uncle Bruce's house. And I got to give it up to my Uncle Bruce, because he gave my dad his truck so that I could go to the beach. Now those are 2 great fucking men that the earth has lost. More importantly, me and his son have lost. Because Uncle Bruce is like my dad when my dad was at work. You know what I'm saying? Because my Uncle Bruce worked at the shipyard. So if he was off and I was over his house with Bruce Jr., he was on. Then we got to do everything. And for Bruce Jr., Cold Slither, baby. Hail Cobra. Anyway, chill. So, we did lots of things. So I asked my uncle, I said, Uncle Bruce, I really want to go to the beach, but Dad's car ain't acting right. Can you use your Ford Ranger truck to take us to the beach? Here go Uncle Bruce. Down a cold one. Hell yeah, Jimmy. Y'all go to the beach. Bruce Jr., you want to go to the beach? Nope. Well, okay, but Jimmy, y'all can go to the beach. Dad pulls up, about to throw my bike in the car. He's like, nah, your boy said he wants to go to the beach. Why don't you take him to the beach, Woody? Oh, my dad got on fire. So first we put the bikes in the truck. My bike and whoever else bike, whatever. Take the bikes back over to Riverview. Put the bikes down. Got my swimming gear and went to the beach. Now, don't think that I didn't get a tongue lashing, because I did. I think it was me and Bill that went to the beach. I'm not really remembering who the hell went to the beach with me, but I know that my dad chewed my ass out. And then he apologized because he remembered that I was a kid. So, but he told me don't ever do that again. And I never did it again. So, he taught me right from wrong a lot more so than often. But, he never beat my ass. He always spoke to me like I was a human being. And he always kept shit real. I hope I'm as great a father if I live long enough to have children to my child the way my father was to me. Now I'm going to tell you the funny thing on that trip. Next day, my uncle Bruce went to work. So my cousin Bill and I was with my dad. And I know Bill probably doesn't remember this, but I remember it. I'll never forget it. So Tom and Jerry used to own everything in Smithfield. I don't think that was their real names, but that was the name of everything they had. There was Tom and Jerry Market. There was Tom and Jerry's Repairs or whatever. And they used literally the mouse and cat figures as Tom and Jerry on everything that they had. So my dad went to go do something with his car and get the tires inspected or whatever. And he had this damn Pepsi in a bottle. That's when they used to make the big bottles. Not like the plastic, but the big glass bottle. So he got a cup from Joe Cotton, who one day later after that I would be damn near dead because of his daughter. So he gave me we gave my cousin Bill the cup. Excuse me. He gave my cousin Bill the cup, and he whispers to him. Now, mind you, my dad and Bill are like at the mechanic door, and I'm at the top of the freaking the area where you come in the park. And he goes, "Hey, Bill, I gave you the most." Now, at first, I heard it, but I didn't really know how to like project that back out. So I told him, I heard that, and he's like, "What? How the hell are you gonna give your nephew more than you gonna give your son?" And he said, "How the hell did you hear me from way up there and all this noise?" I said, "I don't know, but I heard that shit. That's just not cool." So my dad's like, "Damn, I can't believe you heard it." He said, "Are you sure?" I said, "I know what I heard." I said, "You ain't got to repeat it. You gave him the most because I wanted the bottle." Okay, he gave him the most. Now, let me explain that before you're all thinking, well, that's not fair. Actually, it was fair. Now I'm explaining to you why. The same way he explained to me later that night, because I was mad as hell about that shit. And don't think that I wasn't. I was very mad about that, because like, how the fuck, I'm your son, and you gonna give your nephew more than you gonna give your son. So, this is how this works. This is how my dad works. This is how I work. If you're not willing to give someone else's kid more than you're willing to give your own, then there's something not so humane about you. Because this only teaches your kid that being greedy is right. So as my dad told me, he's like, I gave your cousin Bill the most. It's not because I love your cousin more than I love you. I can never love anyone more than I love my own children, which is not always true, because some parents do love other people more than they love their own children. But my dad, he broke it down to me and said, I have to teach you right from wrong as you go through life. It's always better to do the right thing than the wrong thing. But in that case, because you were so greedy and wanted that fucking bottle, that's why I gave your cousin the most. So that you would learn the value of not being greedy and the value and wisdom it takes to learn how to share things. Not many people do that. Not many people will sacrifice the greater good to teach their children what's right and what's wrong. And normally, if my dad would have had 2 cups, he would have sat there all day pouring that shit right back in that bottle until he got it even Steven. Alright, because my dad was anything, he was a fair man. He did everything he could to make everything even Steven. But that day was not for that to happen, because down that day, I was being a little dick. and I was just being an asshole or a bitch, whatever the hell you want to take it as. That's what I was. Well, I was being a princess. So anyway, he gave my cousin Bill the most soda in the bottle to teach me a lesson about greed. My dad was always teaching me things. And the one thing you all have to know as a father, if you're blessed enough to be one, because having a child is a privilege, not a right, you have to teach your children to do the right thing at all times, regardless of the cost. You have to teach them to do the right thing, because sooner or later, it's generally not your raising or your teaching that screws them. It's their inability to make correct decisions because you failed to teach them right from wrong. They will decide if your kid's going to grow up and be a productive member of society or if they're going to be a fucking criminal. And the choice is really up to you. So as a father, I implore all you fathers out there to teach your children right from wrong, especially you kids of color. You young people who have black dads, where we have such a bad rap for being the most absentee fathers in the universe. And that's true, but not every black dad was an absentee dad. Now, my parents are mixed, alright? My dad has more black features than Native American features, but his mom was Native American and his dad was black. My mom has more white features than black or Native American features. Her mom's Native American and her dad was mixed with black and white. The most important thing that you need to know is that you teach your child from the jump, right from wrong. And now you also have to teach them that not everybody's version of right and wrong matches your version of right and wrong. But if you're a productive member of society and you haven't really done anything extremely stupid, you know, everybody's had to run in with the law. Whether they want to admit it or not, it's a whole other ballgame. But everybody, especially me, has had to run in with the law. I'm not a criminal. I have never been arrested, like confined arrested, but I have been arrested on multiple occasions for speeding. Yes, in the military, I learned that if you have a speeding ticket, guess what? Your ass has been arrested. And we've discussed this before. So, you know, I'll be the first to tell you, you know, that you have to teach your children right from wrong. And especially us men of color. We have to teach our kids right from wrong. Because there's two things that people of color do. My dad is probably the reason why I do it. It's probably the reason why the next generation after me will do the same damn thing. I don't want to turn on the news and have somebody I know on the news for doing something stupid. My dad used to watch the news. He used to make me watch the news. And this was like before Entertainment Tonight would be on, just watching the like regular news. Someone come on the news, and the first thing my dad would say, because he'd hear it like earlier, and so you have to, you know, when you hear news on the radio, you have to get home and you have to hear it at 5 or 6 or whatever. So he'd hear it. He'd put on Wavy TV 10. And he's like, the first thing he says as soon as we sit down to watch the news is, "Dear Lord, whatever you show us today, just don't let it be a black man." And sure as shit, it's a damn black man. So, you know, that kind of fucks it up for the rest of us. So us people of color really have to get the noses to the grindstone at teaching our children right from wrong. We have to teach them consequences. Because if we don't, there'll be a lot more brothers incarcerated than anyone else. My name is James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. I want to say happy birthday to my late father. Happy birthday to everyone who shares a birthday on the same day as my dad. Thank you guys, and good night.